What are the plants herbalist use for ulcerative colitis? Use equal parts of marshmallow root, cranberry. Hi everyone, welcome back to the International Translation Health Store. My name is Rose, and this July month we are looking at the disease that affects the colon system, the ulcerative colitis. What is ulcerative colitis? Ulcerative colitis is an idiopathic inflammatory condition of the colon that results in diffuse friability and superficial erosions on the colonic wall associated with bleeding. It is the most common form of inflammatory bowel disease worldwide. It characteristically involves inflammation restricted to the mucosa and submucosa of the colon. Typically, the disease starts in the rectum and extends proximally in a continuous manner. In the United States, the disease accounts for 250,000 provider visits annually, and medical costs directly related to the disease are estimated to exceed $4 billion annually. Ulcerative has no cure and is a lifelong disorder with a significant impact on both physical and mental health. If you do some research on this online, you'll find similar results, but we are the International Translation Health Store, so we've dig a little deeper. How much do you know about the type of food you eat? Can food play a vital role in this disease? Yes, it does. You have to change your diet to support the disease. Let's break it down in more details, so you guys know where I'm coming from. When you eat food, and it go down into your stomach, the gastric acid break down the food, and then the food and the gastric acid move on to the colon tract, attribute to the development of ulcerative conditions, primarily peptic ulcers. Stomach acid, which is normally used to digest food, can erode the protective lining of the stomach and small intestine, leading to the formation of open sores called ulcers. Colitis is inflammation of a section or sections of the colon, mostly in the mucous membranes. It is a very common problem, and is perhaps the most common of all bowel complaints. It appears to be a precursor for many other diseases, such as ulcerative colitis, which can ensue when ulcers develop as a result.
Today's sponsor is the Fat Burn Active. Achieve your weight loss goals naturally with Fat Burn Active. Now available at the International Translation Health Store. Specially formulated for those striving for a healthier, more active lifestyle, this premium food supplement features 11 synergistic natural ingredients that work together to support your metabolism and enhance fat burning potential. Whether you're on a fitness journey or simply aiming for better weight control, Fat Burn Active helps accelerate fat tissue reduction, boost energy levels, and reduce fatigue, all while supporting your overall health. Trusted by active individuals worldwide, this supplement is your go-to solution for effective, healthy, and natural weight loss. Experience global wellness with local impact. Scan the QR code on your screen now to get an exclusive discount. Discover the power of nature-backed nutrition at the International Translation Health Store, where wellness speaks every language.
Of chronic inflammation. It can be caused by intense stress, anxiety, or fear, or by bacteria, especially if antibiotics have been overused. The nervous system and adrenal glands need support if stress is a factor, but the food you eat also has a major influence on this disease. What to eat and what to avoid. No coffee, alcohol, tea, milk, or cheese should be consumed. No cooked spices should be eaten. The cooler, raw spices and culinary herbs like thyme and marjoram should be used instead. Fibrous foods should be avoided at this point. Instead, try fruit purees. Always cook with stones, pips, and skins and then strain. Vegetable purees, pureed soups, and generally soft steamed or baked foods. Continue until the inflammation has subsided. Often 6 small meals a day will be easier to digest than 3 larger ones. Eat plenty of garlic in food and let it do the main work on bowel putrefaction for you. What are the plants herbalist use for ulcerative colitis? Use equal parts of marshmallow root, cramp bark, lobelia leaf, bar. Diseases berry root bark, wild yam root, and red clover flower to help soothe and relax any spasms and reduce the inflammation. Drink meadowsweet leaf tea for bouts of diarrhea and to establish balanced hydrochloric acid and pepsin levels. Chinese licorice root tea would help any constipation. In this condition, the two often alternate. Use the herbs recommended for diverticulitis along with bayberry as a blood cleanser, because it will help the colon wall regain elasticity and encourage peristalsis. Blessed thistle leaf tea helps reduce excessive mucus production and stimulates digestion. Dr. Christopher also pointed out that it improves the tone, structure, and elasticity of the bowel walls, as well as aiding detoxification. Thank you for watching the International Translation Health Store. We will see you in the next translation. Goodbye. Next up, it's the YouTube short.
Drinking these herbs will clean the colon wall and heal the colon wall. In other videos we explained how to detox your liver by go on detox diet with fruit juice. It's a similar process happening here. When you take herbs internally, it goes into the colon and then the colon absorbs it into the bloodstream. The herbs mentioned in the full video. That is where you see the arrow pointing now. The colon absorbed it and then it comes into contact with the ulcerative colitis, and each herbs go to work with ulcerative colitis.
Over a year ago, my son Dominic was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. At our first trip to the pediatrician, they told me it was a hemorrhoid but gave us a referral to get it looked at, and we left the office. A few days later, Dom's color changed and we realized he was embarrassed to tell us how much he had been bleeding when he went to the bathroom and how frequently he was going. Right away I took him to the ER and they didn't do anything and sent us home. When we finally went to the referral visit, Dom was unrecognizable. He looked like he was dying and I was terrified because the Western medicine way was the only way I knew how to treat sickness and they were failing Dominic. At the appointment they admitted him instantly and we lived in the hospital for over a month. They ran invasive tests, took blood from him sometimes 2 times a day. They even told him he had no food restrictions and was allowed to even have fast food. I was appalled. The bleeding wouldn't stop and he had to have 3 blood transfusions before we even left the hospital. But with the first treatment of REMICADE and steroids, his bleeding stopped for the first time. We stayed a few more days and finally Dominic got to go outside and get fresh air. Once we were able to leave, the hospital told us this was something he will struggle with forever. And he will also be on medication forever. The medicine kept him sick for 3 months. Every week we had to run to Cohen's for blood transfusions and blood work. Then they would pump him up with more medicine in an IV form. The medicine did not work. It also made his hair fall out and his kidneys in distress. At the last Western doctor appointment I took him to, they said it was time to operate and to take out part of his colon. Tom Fusco, who is a licensed acupuncturist and herbalist I work for, made a home visit to check out Dom. He took his pulse, looked at his tongue, and asked him a few questions and then came up with a herbal recipe of flower, bark and other herbs. I stopped the Western medicine and only gave Dom the herbs. From that day on he began to heal and now is completely healed. The power of herbs is real.